Welcome back to Sports Medicine on Tap. My name is Brandon O'Line. I'm sitting at the NATA AT Expo in Philadelphia on day 2 with my good friends Dr. Frey and Dr. Bertha, and we are having our guest, Charles Dawson from TenCate Performance Turf, correct?
Performance Turf, yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming out. You guys have been a great sponsor. You've hooked us up with this awesome turf setup for Radio Row at NATA. It's been great. It's comfortable. It's nice on our feet, and we've gotten a lot of compliments from a lot of people walking by, so it's been a great
setup is great.
Yeah.
Super cool.
And sometimes, new technology, people need to see it, a picture of it or an explanation of it's not as good as actually being able to walk on it.
Yeah, right.
No, absolutely.
And it is nice.
It is nice. It's really, really nice.
With the no infill, right?
Right.
The sand and rubber, that's the biggest difference in this generation and the previous.
Right.
I was gonna say I won't jump into it yet, but that was my exact question, because I noticed that I was rubbing it. I was like, there's no rubber here.
Right. So the first question is, how did you go down this road? Like, how did you wind up developing turf?
Well, we were the original developers of what we call Gen 3 turf, which is the sand and rubber stuff.
Okay.
And that technology is almost 30 years old.
It's unbelievable.
It's
Yeah.
unbelievable how long we've done it. I was on that original team for that initial patent. So
Yeah.
my entire professional career has been in creative sports surfacing. And then as testing methods became better,
Yeah.
we could isolate the cons of the Gen 3 turf, and then also the sustainability of water runoff and taking infill into the downstream water, some of our microplastic issues and all that. Our Gen 4 turf has eliminated all of those issues, and we've also isolated the biomechanic negatives of that Gen 3 turf, which is kind of what leads into you guys' field.
Right. So can you talk about some of those biomechanical negatives?
Yeah, so sure. So the two biggest things on the Gen 3 turf is what we call recoil and what we call contact release. And our ability to measure today with the better cameras, the better accelerometers, et cetera, have given us data that even 5 or 6 years ago we couldn't come up with. So what we call recoil is anything that is resilient and compresses has to return energy to the athlete.
Right.
So when you have people that walk around on turf fields all day with the sand and rubber, a lot of guys, especially old guys like me, they'll say, oh, my back's sore, my legs are sore. Well, what's happening is every time they step on the surface, they're getting a negative energy return. So it compresses
a little bit of
and
bounce.
sends it back.
Yeah.
About 8 to 20 times more than natural grass.
Wow.
Really? Wow.
Okay.
Depending on the impact. And this is huge. So what does that lead to? It leads to fatigue.
Right.
And it leads to lack of recovery.
Yeah.
And as a creative designer, there's 3 things that we're trying to do. We're trying to eliminate fatigue.
Yeah.
We are trying to increase recovery rate, but more importantly, we're trying to increase availability of the player.
Sure.
Our job as surface creators and your jobs in the medical field is to increase availability.
Get back on the field.
Get them back on the field. And this technology absolutely increases availability, it lowers fatigue, and it shortens the recovery period.
Wow. And you said you've kind of been able to eliminate the rubber aspect as well.
Yep.
So it kind of cuts down on some of the upkeep, I assume, for this.
The maintenance on this is blow it off. You
Right.
get a blower, if you get leaves, you get pine straw, depending on where you're at, you get popcorn from the bleachers, you blow it off. There's no more adding or redistributing infill.
Yeah.
There's no more unevenness.
Yeah.
Surface temperatures are down 20 to 30 degrees because
Wow.
we don't have the black
Oh,
rubber
wow.
exacerbating
Oh,
the
that's
heat.
Yeah.
That's also part of the
That's a
fatigue.
big thing.
That's
Yeah.
also part of the fatigue deal,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And what we've noticed on our fatigue levels is when you put kids on high recoil fields and they're on it, say, 6 days a week, they can never fully recover.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
They can never fully
They don't have
recover
enough downtime.
because we're beating them up. So we've created a technology that we've got 500 of these installed now. So I don't know if it's really new anymore.
Right.
But the industry's fighting it like crazy because it's a technology and they want status quo.
Sure.
The easiest thing to do is
absolutely.
status quo, stay where
Right.
we are.
Yeah.
What's the recoil look like on this one compared to grass?
Exactly the same.
Exactly
Yeah.
the same.
There is none.
Nice.
There's none. And then the second part of that is contact release, and that's the way the cleat releases on natural grass. So high rubber fields.
That's a huge ordeal.
This is where
Yeah.
our lower leg trauma. So there's 2 things that we've isolated on lower leg trauma. One is recoil, which is negative energy. We don't want negative energy.
Right.
Grass is kind of the standard when it comes to recoil.
Yeah.
The other is contact release. So if you get yourself in a high torque situation in natural grass, the foot releases. You'll see the field divots. You'll see the foot go.
Yep.
There's nothing to release on turf.
Right.
So if the athlete puts himself in a tough situation, in a high torque situation, and the foot sticks,
Yeah.
that's where our leg trauma goes up to the point where in the NFL sponsored study with FIFA on high rubber compared to pivot or natural grass, low torque versus high torque, almost 500% greater chance of lower leg trauma on high rubber than natural grass or pivot. 500%. It's significant.
It's a huge,
kind of a big number.
It's a big number.
It's a big number.
Big deal.
It's a big number.
And you know, as we all know, but as we're kind of alluding to, you know, one of the biggest things being is ACL injuries. You know, you get that leg stuck and twisted.
But ankle sprains and all that other stuff.
And tendonitis, tendinosis.
Absolutely.
And what we're defining as lower leg trauma, at least in that one study, was basically anything that limits availability. You know, it could be an ankle sprain, like you said, or something that keeps you from getting on the field.
Right.
Because our trainers are under immense pressure to make sure these dudes are ready to go on Friday at night or Saturday night or Sunday night. Immense pressure, more than ever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No one wants to miss a game anymore.
That's
big deal, especially in the day and age of the NIL in college.
Right.
It's changed the whole dynamic.
And the frustrating part is we have the technology to do it, but the marketing is stronger than the science sometimes in industry.
Right.
The old school marketing of the Gen 3 is sometimes stronger than what the science tells us, and you have to overcome those obstacles in any industry.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that, because I mean, that's exactly, you know, I was thinking when we saw this initially, it was like, well, where's the rubber?
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
the first thing you think,
it's like, you know, that's what we're used to. That's what we see, you know? So, but
Dr. Bertha was like scraping the floor. He's like, it's not kicking up. It's not here yesterday. We were checking it all out.
That's right.
I have a question for you, and I don't know if you have the answer or not. And this is not just this is not founded in science. Just I know a lot of guys when they're out competing on Generation 3 turf will use regular cleats as opposed to like turf type cleats, in part because of that release portion of the equation where it's almost too grippy with the turf shoes, and they find at least it slides a little bit with the regular cleat that's really meant for grass. Is there any difference, or is there a factor? Is that something you guys have looked at in terms of which is the better way to go with pivot?
Yeah, so we've looked at a variety of things, and the way the NFL and FIFA measures it is max torque. So they have come up with a max torque on fields that is allegedly the highest possible torque that they want an athlete to create during a game. Now, the problem, in our opinion, is it's an arbitrary number so that fields will pass as opposed to what is actually here. So here's what we found out. Max torque can be up to 180 on a high rubber field, but we know natural grass is between 140 and 150.
Right.
So why are we allowing 180?
Yeah.
Well, we're allowing 180 because most of our high rubber fields test in the 175 to 180 range. So it's almost like we set a standard based on
what's out there, so people
there,
don't have to replace
as opposed to what does fine natural grass, like you're seeing in the World Cup, or that you're seeing in NFL stadiums do. We know it's 140 to 150. What is pivot? 140 to 150.
That's perfect.
So we have mimicked the recoil. We have mimicked the contact release or the max torque.
Right.
Now it becomes a game of politics and marketing of the status quo, because we know what's better for the athlete. It's just a matter of when will the industry overall implement it.
Right. So in that same sentiment, have you guys looked at a lower torque, you know, lower than 140? Is that beneficial at all? I mean, we talk about grass as the gold standard, but to your point is, you know, is there even better standard that we can have?
And talking about grass as a gold standard, the myth or the problem that we see with that is grass isn't always the gold standard. Grass will get a pass, and in many cases, grass is the most inconsistent surface you can have due to moisture content. You'll have some areas that are here and some areas that are there. So when you lower max torque, there's not a direct correlation, but there is a correlation in grip.
Yeah.
So as you continue to lower max torque, your grip goes down. So what you've got to do is you got to find a happy medium of proper foot release. Within the torque range that you find acceptable. And the acceptable torque range, at least today, is the natural grass torque range.
Right.
The problem is we're allowing torque ranges that we know have almost a 500% and we're
increase in injury.
But right now it's okay. And we're trying to fight the battle of a creative surface design that goes to the three components. I'm going to say them again. Our job as creators of surface is player availability, lower fatigue, increase recovery. That's it. That's it.
Well,
I would even argue. Sorry,
go ahead.
I would even argue to throw in their performance, right? Like because like what you're saying. At some point, if the not the recoil, the contact release does get too low, all of a sudden you have people that are sliding before or slipping before they should be. And you see that sometimes on fields, like you're saying. And then all of a sudden now you're impacting overall performance. So you got to find that happy medium.
But slipping is good. Here's what the NFL study
fewer
told
injuries,
us. Fewer injuries when the cleat is out. Now, but here's what we'll also notice. And I'm a nerd on this, so I've broken down thousands and thousands of films. Rarely is the field the cause of the slip.
Right.
Rarely. I would say more than 90%. It's angle of attack.
Sure.
It's hitting the heel first. It's on the side. It's outside your core. When a kid is fundamental and inside of his core.
Right.
Torque stays about where it needs to stay, and there's very little negative foot action. But what's happened is, you guys remember the Gen 2, what we call Gen 2 turf, the old school AstroTurf that would kill you, right?
Yeah,
that's the one we live in fear of.
This stuff's max torque was so high, it was almost expected you would have leg injuries on these fields.
Right.
You're not probably old enough to remember this, okay? I remember this. So when we went from Gen 2 to Gen 3, we significantly lowered max torque, but it's still significantly higher than grass.
Yeah.
So what the players are doing is they know they can get by with out of athletic movements or out of core movements because the field will stick.
Right. Yeah.
We don't want the field to stick. We want the field to release, which forces the athlete back in his core.
Yeah.
Now, why is that important? Because on a contact injury, when the angle of the limb is extended, there's a higher chance of contact injury.
Right.
When the leg is here, it just takes somebody falling across.
Sure,
Right.
sure.
And the angles, look, I'm not telling you guys.
Yeah.
I don't talk to a lot of doctors, okay? But the angle of the limb is very important from a safety standpoint and a strength standpoint. So, for instance, if I'm going to do a curl and my arms are in here, I'm strong.
You've done a couple,
Try to do a curl. Try to do a curl out here.
Yeah.
Because when the limb is extended, I am opening myself up to injury.
Yeah.
So contact release is not just important for the field release, but we have to train the athlete to stay within his core.
Yeah.
And when he stays within his core and keeps his limbs in, injuries go down.
Right.
Traumas go down.
Yeah.
So it's twofold.
But they learn. Athletes naturally will learn. Like I can lean this much, I can reach that much, I can cut that much because they have the grip.
They're
because
very
they're not.
savvy.
I think
They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
when you have that really high grip, those are the guys you see like almost horizontal to the
Right,
ground,
right,
you know,
right.
in these really compromised
We don't want
positions.
that as field designers or as trainers or as doctors.
Yeah.
We want limbs in.
Yeah.
We want cleat release, not knee release.
Yeah. Now, I think it's a really interesting point, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it really sounds like that this turf, not only does it mimic the grass, but almost in some ways may be better than the grass because it's consistent. It's always the same no matter where we're at, unlike the grass that may have patches that may not be the same.
And it's multi-directional. So there's even with your finest, World Cup fields that we're seeing now, we're seeing some of the finest fields in the world.
Yeah.
And even with our fine NFL fields, there's two areas where the Gen 4 design will even outperform those, and that's in high moisture content and freezing.
Yeah.
Right.
Because moisture content, it'll get hard, right?
Yeah.
So we are multi-directional and always consistent.
Right.
And to note, to go to the FIFA side, there's many of the FIFA premiers, the Arsenals, the Eindhovens, all those, this is their practice field.
Right.
Yeah.
And they hate turf.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is the only turf that we've ever installed where they actually almost call it equal to their natural grass fields.
Right.
So
That's
it's a testament to the design.
So you say even the moisture doesn't really
affect it.
That's awesome.
Right.
Super cool.
Yeah.
What about in a heavier rain, water runoff and that sort of thing?
Well, that's the permeability of the turf itself is about 65 inches an hour.
Okay.
So water runoff and drainage is always going to be determined by the infrastructure under it.
Got it.
So to put 65 inches per hour in perspective, I'm from Baton Rouge. You guys remember Katrina?
Right. Yeah.
Katrina at its Category 5 height was 3.73 inches per hour. Okay.
Gotcha.
What was the runoff again?
65?
Over 60.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
So we're never going to have water caused by the turf.
Right.
It's going to be caused by the infrastructure.
What's under?
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
And downstream and how fast it can get there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 65 inches an hour is a lot. I mean,
That's a lot.
That's called Noah.
I was gonna say.
That's right.
That's a big deal.
That's right.
It is pretty thick when you see it from the side. And I don't know if Generation 3 was quite this thick as well, or I've just never seen it not already set. It is pretty thick.
It's 8 blades to 1 roughly. So for every blade of grass you had on the Gen 3, you've got about 8 here.
Wow.
And then we also have, horizontal density, meaning it's shorter.
Yeah.
So becomes denser because it's shorter with the same weight.
Yeah.
So it's, instead of an infill system, it's a fiber filled system. So we've taken out the infill, whether it be the sand, the rubber, the sawdust, the coconut. People will dump anything into their fields. It's pretty impressive what people will come up with.
Right.
This is filled with fiber, which gives us the consistency and the stability because it never moves. It can't move. And what we have to really preach is release is good.
Right.
Release is good. And the players don't like release until they get hurt. Then they're like, why didn't the field? The field. How about get inside your core and plant properly? And it'll work.
I don't know. And actually too, as a small aside, the quality of like the imaging that's on it is really great. And I figure it's probably from how dense, all the fibers are in there.
That's a good point.
It's kind of cool.
And we're able to make this as one piece. So the logo that we're standing on today is one piece. We couldn't do that even 2 years ago.
Wow.
It had to be one colored panel, all the same direction. So we're able to, our logo system is able to make, we can fade colors now. We couldn't do that a couple of years ago.
Really?
Yeah. So we can almost.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's like some of those funky basketball courts that you see are crazy.
Exactly the same. It's almost limitless what the owner can come up with on the way they want the field to look.
That's cool. I mean,
cool.
I minimum from a design standpoint, that's pretty neat. Yeah.
Well, and something else we did, this turf lasts about 50% longer than the Gen 3 turf.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So it's kind of a, on the sustainability
very well
side,
done.
it's a win, and it lasts longer. Keep it out of the landfill. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's awesome. I mean, it seems like it's a great product. It sounds like you guys are having great success getting it out there, just needing to keep getting people to realize that turf is good. It's not that Gen 2 turf anymore, that it's going in the right direction, trying to prevent more injuries and get people having the right mechanics on there. So awesome stuff.
Bad turf is bad turf. Bad natural grass is bad natural grass.
That's right.
It's all thrown in the same. You guys remember the Super Bowl in 2023? Do you guys remember the Super Bowl where the sod was flying?
I was going to say,
that was a natural grass. It was a moisture content problem.
Right.
And you didn't hear much about it because it was natural grass.
Right.
We're not allowed to say anything bad about natural grass.
I'm a Pittsburgh Steeler fan. And yeah, exactly. Through the years, same thing. Year in, year out. Always had problems with the turf.
If you don't have a budget, and you have unbelievable weather, and you only touch the field 10 times a year, you can have natural grass.
Right.
Fair enough.
I remember I was talking to an NFL club. We've got 14 NFL partners with our Gen 3 stuff, and we had just finished their indoor, and he goes, Dawson, we will never have turf on our game field. I said, really, Ben? I said, what's your budget? He goes, budget? I said, yeah, exactly. How many times a year are you on? He said, we're on it about 10 times a year. Okay, you can have natural grass. But even where you're at, to the point of Pittsburgh, weather comes into play.
Yeah. It rains all the time, man.
It's a rainy town.
Yeah, you're from Pittsburgh.
I'm from Pittsburgh. So
same thing. Same thing.
So I guess now is like a great time to have this discussion because I think turf is very much in the limelight with the World Cup being in the U.S. And all the stadiums changing mostly all back to grass for that. So I would imagine that you're going to be getting some calls to get something that's the next best thing. It's the closest thing to natural grass because I think everyone's, at least you read on social media, NFL teams are now making a push to go back to grass, or the keyboard warriors, if you will, on social media are like, oh, see, look, it's possible. All these fields now have grass. So do you think that there's going to be an uptick in transitioning over to this type of turf going forward?
I think once people look at the data and get over the marketing and look at the science, yes. But what we're seeing is, even with our NFL partners, there is a real push to stay status quo because we developed this technology and we're the only company that has the technology. So my competitors are screaming, no, you can't do that. No, you can't, blah, blah, blah. So you've got all kinds of politics behind the scenes, just like any other industry. The minute that we determine that we want what's best for the player, this will be everywhere. That's not an opinion. This is data driven. It's medically and biomechanically driven. But we've got to get over the hurdle of marketing versus science.
For sure. No, and I like I said earlier, I still think a lot of people's opinion today is still demonizing turf. I think a lot of people are still nervous about saying, oh, we're going to play on a turf field. And, I think, like you said, if that keeps changing and the data keeps growing, eventually people will have to get behind it.
And what people are saying is, I don't like recoil and I don't like lack of contact release.
Right.
They don't like turf. They don't know why, but they know how their bodies feel.
Sure. Yeah.
They know that the lower leg trauma goes up. Maybe
Yeah.
they don't medically know why,
Yeah.
but you can isolate that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I was going to say. Like those fears were rooted in reality. That's why those fears exist. And it's very interesting to hear about this, to see why, like, all right, we're progressing. We're trying to make things better so that those things don't continue to hold true.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
This might be my new landscaping.
Right.
It's pretty fantastic in your yard too.
Yeah. And like legitimately, it sounds silly, but like people have come on over to talk, and like everybody comments on the turf.
Oh, yeah.
Like, whoa, look at this stuff.
different,
Yeah.
for
It's
sure.
great.
Super nice.
Yeah.
Great quality.
Yeah.
But again, going back, surface temperatures are important.
Yeah.
Especially in the South where we're at. I mean, they're important everywhere, but they come into play more there.
Sure.
And then the sustainability side of no microplastics,
Yeah.
no runoff to the downstream.
Yeah.
All
It's
those
a huge
things.
ordeal.
It is. It's across the board. It checks many of the boxes, even in some of your more environmental states.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's really cool. I love hearing about stuff like this, because it's like the stuff that I think a lot of people, that it's just like, it's whatever, it's the turf. But like, there's so much science that goes into this.
Yeah.
There is.
Just really cool stuff.
This is 6 years for us in development, about $30 million in R&D.
Yeah.
So
Holy cow.
It's not something that, hey guys, let's get in the garage and come up with a new,
Yeah.
new surface. We're trying to overcome a 30-year technology that has been incredibly successful.
Right.
But we know now with today's testing standards that
Yeah.
we can do better.
Yeah.
And those fields are great.
Yeah.
And don't forget, the average kid is not comparing his field to an NFL FIFA field.
Right.
Okay, even the worst of the turf systems out there are still better than mud at the municipal park.
That's right. Yeah.
So a lot of times, to your point, we get caught up in, well, it's not as good as grass. Well, which grass?
That's right.
Okay, FIFA
Yeah.
grass? No.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the Gen 3 stuff. So there's still, turf is far better than mud or unkept municipalities and high schools, etc.
Uneven ground.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I think that's about wrapping up our time with you, and I appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you
Absolutely.
for
Love this stuff.
dropping some knowledge on us. And I mean, like, I think we all appreciate a little bit of science behind this stuff. I walk on this turf almost every day, really, in the real world. So I appreciate someone putting some science behind it for injury prevention, making our lives easier. So
Absolutely. That's why we're here.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
you guys
much
for
for
having us.
everything.
You got it.
Appreciate Travel's getting back, and thank you again for sponsoring NATA Radio Row. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
We want to thank our sponsors who make this show possible. First, a quick word from Virtual Health. Runner's knee and dog walker's hip, they have a doc for that. Yard work back and laptop wrist, they have a doc for that too. Virtual Orthopedics and Spine has over 120 providers, over 20 PT and rehab facilities, and more than 25 surgical centers all across South Jersey. So find the right specialist for you at virtual.org/ortho. Next up are a shout out to our friends over at Protected. If you've been listening for a while, you know we love Protected for getting elite athletes back in the game safely. For athletic trainers, this is an ultimate tool belt upgrade, a full suite of customized bracing products ordered via a quick 30-second 3D scan on an iPhone app. They are the go-to solution for custom face masks used across the NBA, WNBA, and Elite Soccer, AC joint pads that don't restrict range of motions, and hand and wrist splints that keep players totally functional. So go check out their 3D printed products in person and visit www.protect3d.io to learn more. We also want to give a massive thank you to our official NATA Row sponsor. NATA Radio Row is officially sponsored by Pivot Performance Turf. If you stop by our mobile studio layout on the Expo floor, that incredible turf setup we were broadcasting on was all thanks to them. They kept our studio setup looking clean and professional all week long. And finally, today's episode is brought to you by Timbero Productions and our good friend Kyle, getting all this media out to all of our listeners. So thank you and enjoy the show.